So there is one good news headline. Apartment rents are on the verge of declining due to massive new supply. Unfortunately, that's a CNBC headline from the United States of America. Here's a CBC headline in Canada. Rent is going up more than $100 a month right now. Wow. And another one, and the Prime Minister's favorite, the Toronto Star, that this year we're having worse construction numbers than during the lockdown. Why is construction up and rent down south of the border when it's just the opposite here in Canada?
Mr. Speaker, we know we need to build more rental constructions more quickly, and that's why we put forward a bill that removes the GST from new rental constructions across the country and on the federal side, and that is actually spurring thousands of new units to be built across the country. It's a very exciting measure, except unfortunately, Conservatives have chosen to obstruct debate on that particular measure. Why won't they line up with Canadians? Why don't they see that building housing supply is going to help Canadians right across the country? Why won't they line up with us and support Canadians across the country?
Mr. Speaker, he's the one that's been obstructing that promise for the last 8 years since he made it. But since that 8-year period, the average rent has doubled. Mortgage payments have doubled. The needed down payment has doubled. It has been double trouble. And after doubling the cost, he created a $4 billion so-called accelerator to build homes. How many homes have been completed?
Mr. Speaker, yesterday, following a request from the Minister of Housing to scale up their ambition, Vaughan's City Council passed a bold housing resolution to unlock even more affordable family-sized homes. That is a direct result of the Housing Accelerator Fund. This is a concrete example of how the federal government can lead and ensure more affordable housing options so our seniors, students, families can grow in their communities. We look forward to more municipalities joining us to ensure all Canadians have a safe and affordable place to call home.
Speaker, the question was not how many resolutions have been passed. You can't live in a resolution. You can't live in a photo op. You can't live in a press release or a promise. He created this fund a year and a half ago, promising to, quote, accelerate housing. So how many houses have been completed? And by completed, I mean houses with walls and roofs and doors and people living in them. How many are completed? How many?
Mr. Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition's housing plan consists of wagging a finger at municipalities and saying, you better build more homes or else. Mr. Speaker, we have a better approach than that. We actually work with municipalities to build more homes, and we're seeing the results of that housing plan. Recently, alongside British Columbia and the City of Vancouver, the member for Vancouver Centre announced the groundbreaking of the construction of 154 new affordable housing units close to transit in the heart of Davie Village, which will also house Community, which is a non-profit organization providing safe and secure services for individuals and families living with HIV/AIDS.
Cannot live in an announcement. You can't live in a press release. You can't live in the Prime Minister's talking points, which he's having so much trouble reading, Mr. Speaker. This Prime Minister is now presiding over a massive decline in home building. In fact, last year, Canada built fewer homes than in 1972, and this year, housing starts are down 32%. And by the way, to end the suspense, the number of homes that have actually been built by this so-called housing accelerator, zero, nada, nothing. When will you stop the talk, end the bureaucracy, and finally get something built? Yeah.